Hello and welcome to week 15 of Paula's Run Club Road to London with me, Paula Radcliffe.
And me, Christopher Thompson.
And this is, of course, brought to you by Heiko, who have your hydration covered. This week, we will be catching up with somebody getting ready for the elite race in London in Patrick Dever. Made his marathon debut in New York, finishing third in 2:08:57. And Thomas, before we get into this chat with Patrick, what else has been going on this week in the world of sports? We start off with the news that World Athletics have decided that the marathon will be separated from the World Championships from 2030 onwards. First edition going to the Athens Marathon. It's unclear if it's going to stay in Athens from there. We're just only getting this information right before we record.
This information is a little bit sparse, and we just know it's 2031. They're saying it will be the first one, and like you say, we don't know if it's going to continue to be in Athens. I mean, again, you always have to get all the information, but my knee-jerk reaction is I don't like the idea of pulling a world title away from other world titles. I like the fact that everyone gets to share that kind of ceremony together, and they have their individual kind of celebrations amongst friends, peers that are equally doing as well in their own discipline. So the concept of pulling it separate, I feel like this is, I don't know how much athletes are going to necessarily enjoy that feeling or get the same level of buzz. What do you think?
I mean, kind of mixed. I would hope that perhaps World Athletics have spoken to the top marathon runners at the moment and kind of canvass a little bit of opinion as to how this would go down. I can see the reasons why the move has been made, for health and safety reasons, perhaps the fact that sometimes the top marathoners don't go to the World Championships because conditions are maybe more difficult. That is something that's leveled the playing fields in the past and has made it maybe more of a challenge and put a bit more value on those World Championships. I think a gathering of information will help that. The disadvantages here, as you said, is that it's separate from the World Championship, so it's kind of really removing road running. It's also putting it directly, as I understand it, because Athens Marathon is beginning of November, it's putting it directly in competition with the marathon majors, which I guess had kind of already happened by accident last year because they moved World Championships to September. That did mean it was already kind of stepping on the toes of Berlin, and I think they were on consecutive days anyway last year, so perhaps that move had kind of already been made and that shouldn't come into it. But as it is, I know that the World Marathon Championships does count in the World Marathon Major Series, doesn't it?
Yeah, the thing is that if we look at the sport overall, like take a step back and look at what the reasons why people run, the reasons why people attend certain events. The World Championships, the Olympics, when there's a medal at stake in the top three, it's unique to other races. Like big city marathons, athletes aren't as obsessed with the top three like they are at a championship where you can medal. And so it becomes about times, it becomes a kind of a different process. And those kind of races happen quite frequently. But to keep the purity of what the World Championship stands for me, is so important. And like you say, all those reasons you just said, pulling it into potentially in the middle of other marathons, it could potentially become have a different meaning. And that's where I'm kind of going, hang on, the essence or the purity of what it means needs to be maintained. And also you touched upon this level playing field. I understand. I saw Seb talking about conditions being so tough for marathon runners at major champs because they're usually set in the summer and the heat. And while that is, yes, a concern for athletes, it is very much what makes stories like Julia Patinai's story at the World Championships this year come through and shine through. And it offers a massive point of difference to when you're watching your Londons, your Berlins and Chicagos. And I don't want to lose that. I like the fact we can literally watch. We don't know what time they're going to run. It almost doesn't matter. We're just watching pure and utter competition, racing, and the conditions add to that. And so we were speculating of winning times in Tokyo because they were going to play a factor. And how do you negotiate that? And Julia ran a smart race by being way off the back and coming through. That's what you want to see more of. And so wait for more information, but I certainly just think the essence. We don't want to lose what makes World Championship Marathon special. We don't want to lose that.
And what makes athletics special.
Yeah.
Because the beauty of athletics is that it is everything from hammer throw through decathlon to the marathon. And it's all a part of that. And what we're doing is taking a little bit out of it and moving that to a separate place. And you're right, part of that, being part of that athletics family, is the fact that you might get the 1,500 metre runners out there handing out bottles to the marathon runners because there is that camaraderie and you are all part of that big team. And you'll get the crowds getting out to support, like we had in Tokyo, because they are there for the World Championships, so they'll go out and support the walks and the marathon. And separating it is difficult. In clarity, we did record the chat with Patrick, unfortunately, prior to doing this, so we can't ask him what his thoughts would be on that. It would be quite nice to find out what he thinks about that. I mean, in contrast to that, I was in Lille at the weekend. I was as part of their urban trail race, and road running is fast growing. I mean, it was almost overcrowded to the point that some of the runners were impeded with the atmosphere because they had two of the top French athletes, probably of all time, head to head going after a world record. In the end, they missed it by a couple of seconds, but it was a phenomenal race, and I was part of that crowd, and it was really hard to get anywhere near, and I was trying to pull people back because there was no real crowd control. It was a bit like the Tour de France and how they came through, motorbikes coming through in front of them. It was congested, but it was an amazing atmosphere. I then took part in what they call their urban trail event, which basically is a 9K event, but it was going in and out of buildings, through disco zones and all sorts of things. So it was really about growing that fast growing thing about road running that we love, and that family, that atmosphere, that everyone can take part, but not everyone can take part in a World Championships marathon. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that had its place as part of the World Championships, and the other part where everyone can join in is perhaps for something different. Yeah, we need a bit more information, don't we, to decide what we fully think.
I think you touched upon something that what I love about athletics. In a world where we talk about inclusion and diversity and all that, there's not many sports in the world where they can claim such a diverse of skills, and everyone is treated evenly. Like a triple jumper winning a world championship is paid the same as the marathon winner, and they're completely different skills, they're completely different respect. And I think that kind of melting pot of diversity of effort, diversity of skills, and it's all under one umbrella, for me, I just think that is part of what makes track and field so pure. And I quite like that, and I wouldn't want to see it like piece limb by limb removed into different pots, because anyway. So yeah.
So we're not convinced.
Moving
we'll
on.
see how it goes.
We'll see
just
what
quickly
happens.
Before
More
we
info needed.
Just quickly before we get into the Patrick Dever interview, I do want to pay my respects to Sir Craig Reedy, who sadly passed away last week, and to convey our thoughts, to be with his family, but also to give our thanks to him for everything that he did, I think, for the sport in general, not just athletics, but for all sports, through his role with the BOA and with WADA. So yeah, we remember you fondly, Sir Craig. And now it is time to get into this interview with Patrick Dever. You are listening to Paula's Run Club, brought to you by HYCO, the hydration company that has your hydration covered. And we caught up with GB International NCAA's 10,000 metre champion, who made a stunning debut in New York, upgraded to third with a finish of 2:08.57, and hoping to improve on that in London. Here's Patrick Dever. And now it is time to welcome to Paula's Run Club somebody who needs no introduction at the marathon, although you've only run one so far, Patrick Dever. And I'm going to start by stating that as we record this interview, you have just found out today the news that you've been upgraded from a fourth position at the New York City Marathon on your debut in 2:08.58 to the third position, due to the testing out of competition 3 times for Sira, which is an EPO booster, Albert career. So he is now serving a 5-year ban. Welcome, Patrick, and thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for having me on.
Congratulations. So I want to ask you, when did you find out? I mean, we've all found out today through the media, but when did you find out? Because again, to paint a picture for the audience, you missed out on a podium by 1 second up a rather annoying sprint finish to find out all that effort, and now he's now been banned. But when did you find out?
Yeah, I think I found out the same time as you probably. I woke up this morning to an Instagram message from my girlfriend and one of
Oh
my
wow.
housemates here, Peter, and yeah, they said congrats, you've been upgraded to third. So I think yeah, same time as everybody else.
You're kidding me. So that you didn't get a call to say like, oh look, we're going to redo the podium, fly to New York. We're going to get the
No,
flags out.
no call, but I
Sadly,
have. I did get an email from New York Roadrunners, and yeah, they did kind of explain the whole situation, so they've been good about it.
I mean, that is the sad part for me, I think, is that you don't get to stand there on the podium and know that you came third at the time. And it's that moment that's been stolen. I guess now it just comes as kind of an added bonus. You get the extra prize money, of course, and New York probably hadn't paid that out. So I'm hoping they're not at a loss for that money because I think they hold off. I don't know, had you received your fourth?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I don't think they've paid out any of the prize money, so yeah, I think they'll start paying it out now after this news. So
But
yeah.
most importantly, I mean, you're a professional athlete, but there's a lot to talk about with you. But while we're on New York, that it was an incredible debut, 2:08:58, and that is not an easy course. And the thing that struck me was how, and a complete compliment, how precocious you were about it. You weren't scared by the distance. You weren't scared by the course, which I know a lot of, you would, anyone that runs New York, even if they've done marathons before, will be told, take it easy the first half. You were brave, you were tough, and you were rewarded with a fourth place. It's been upgraded in a 2:08. Like, how was it? How did you find that level of bravery to just do that? It's incredible performance.
Yeah, I think yeah, I guess bravery is a good way to describe it. And I think also being a little bit naive to the distance definitely helped a little bit as well. I think my coaches do a really good job of preparing us and mentally preparing us. And my teammate, actually, she won the US Olympic trials on her debut. So I think kind of seeing that, I don't know, maybe just gives you a little bit of belief that you can have a great debut. And yeah, it was kind of my coaches that were the ones who were like, you need to kind of feel what the marathon is all about. So they they definitely were like, we think you can run with anyone through 30K. After that, we're not 100% sure, but it's probably best to find out sooner rather than later and really try and learn a lot from the debut. So yeah, I'm glad I ran it the way I did, and yeah, I'm glad it worked out.
And let's just give a shout out to those coaches because that is Alistair and Amy Cragg, right?
Yeah, that's right.
And how long have you been training with them?
So I've been with them since 2021, right after I left the NCA. So yeah, a little bit less than probably like 4.5 years now. So
Did you feel like, and again, just sticking to this bit, this New York Marathon, did you feel physically prepared, or did you and think, or was it very much this is an experiment? You've kind of touched upon, you've got to find out, but did you kind of go into it with there's nothing to lose here or fear here? This is me connecting with that event, and the training you were doing almost prepared you to experiment rather than necessarily find out your limits. It was like a first step in the ocean kind of thing.
yeah, I think so. And I think just with doing quite a few half marathons last year, and even getting to pace Chicago at world record pace just a few weeks before New York, I think gave me a lot of confidence. Just because I guess, yeah, as you guys know, the way New York is set up, with no pacemakers, it does just lend itself to maybe being a bit more cagey in the beginning. And I think, yeah, the longer it stayed cagey for, the more I was like, okay, I can really do what I need to do to cover these moves when they do come in. So
And presumably training had gone very, very well in that build up to allow you to kind of go in with that, right? I'm just going to give it a go and I've got nothing to lose really in my first one.
Yeah, I'd say so. I think there was definitely some sessions that weren't great, but I suppose I didn't really have to miss any time, which I suppose is the key thing. Yeah, I think I was definitely learning how to do some of the longer runs and some of the longer sessions, and definitely messed up with pacing a little bit. So it wasn't like, yeah, it was smooth, I'd say, but I definitely feel like I learned a lot in that build that I could bring forward to future builds.
So what was, because in a lot of ways you are young to be going to the marathon. In some the way the world is now, there's no real set age like it used to be necessarily. But I guess to reframe it a little bit is you were you'd had a very good breakthrough on the track. You were running very quick 27:08 and gone to the Olympics, run very fast at the short distance, and then that in a very kind of I was quite surprised you thought you'd have a go at the marathon so early. So I guess it's kind of a 2-point. Is this a dip in the ocean, but you are still very much seeing yourself as a shorter distance athlete, or is this I've made a conscious decision, I want to do marathon, that's my future? Like, because like I say, like what sparked it to do that? Because you were running so quick on the track.
Yeah, I think my coaches really were eyeing. They wanted me to do a marathon probably sooner than I actually did. So I think they were the ones who kind of thought I had potential in the distance. And then I think it was me. I was pushing back a little bit, but my coaches kind of sat me down and were like, look, if the marathon is at all a possibility for the LA Olympics, you kind of need to start now, because like you guys know, you can't really run too many in a year. So when you actually look at it that way, there isn't actually that many opportunities before trying to qualify for the next Olympics. So I think when they kind of framed it that way, as like an opportunity to see if this is something that you would want to do going forward, it was a little bit more of it was a little bit of an easier decision for me to make that jump now. And I think as to whether I go back to the track, I think I'm definitely done with the 5K on the track. I would like to have another go at the 10K at some point, but I definitely feel like my future is on the roads.
So you're not planning to maybe drop down to 10K for European Championships or Commonwealth Games?
He's smiling. He's smiling.
Yes, I would
I'm just
definitely.
thinking after the marathon strength, it can help. It can help.
Yeah, I would definitely like to. I just remember how beat up I was after New York and how long it took me to get back into training again. So I'm kind of just expecting London to be the same way, and it's take a while. So I don't want to rush things too much. I feel like I did a good job after New York of taking my time and really allowing my body to heal. So as much as I would love to have a go at them, I think a lot of it will just depend on how things go after London and whether I do have time to kind of get on the track at all.
London is a kinder course. It's a kinder course to recover from the New York, but it will be quicker.
Yeah, that's
you're kind of weighing the two up there, but I'm sure you've got enough experience feeding into it. But it will be, I mean, have you thought about how it's going to feel? New York is an amazing atmosphere, but as a British runner in London, it is going to be next level. So have you kind of prepared for that in any way, or are you just going to take it as it comes?
I feel like just gonna take it as it comes. I've heard from I'm training with Jack Rowe, and he ran London last year, and he's from the area, and he just tells me a little bit about it. And I feel like any of the other majors I've been around, they're just, it's such a crazy experience. They like taking over a huge city. So I think I don't know if I've really thought about how big it's going to be getting over there, but I am very excited. I feel like, yeah, being a Brit running in London is kind of like, yeah, that's where you want to be. So
I don't want to. I'm conscious we've still got time to the race. You've got training to do, and I think it's more along the lines of what Paula. I think you're based a lot in America, and I remember when I was based over there, you almost not fully aware of the buzz or hype that's going on back home sometimes, especially around 2012. But definitely I can feel, and me and Paula can feel, and a lot of fans of the sport can feel the buzz around the talent, especially in this case, the British men and the field in general going to have coming over with yourself, Emile. It's just a very exciting time. And I guess there's a lot of buzz about seeing you come over. And I think that's the bit that's certainly exciting for us to see you on the streets. And I'm so pleased you're going to be doing it. But it's going to be, I mean, have you been around in London for the event in any way? Or this will be not just a race, just a watch? Or London, or you wouldn't have done the London Mini because you're based in Preston. But yeah.
yeah, no, I actually did do the mini marathon.
Oh, you did?
For
Oh,
the,
okay.
Yeah, I did it for the Northwest a couple of
He's
years.
younger than
so-
us, Tomo. That came in after us.
Oh yeah, we always have this debate, don't we? We're too old to have done it, but yes, remind ourselves.
In the olden days, you
In
couldn't
the
do it
olden
if you weren't in London.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I remember going down for that trip and trying to catch a glimpse of the finish. I think one of the years I was there, I think Kipchoge was doing it.
He's done it a few times, yeah.
Yeah.
He's popped his head
Yeah.
up there a few times. But do
So-
you think about it? Do you think about? I mean, you seem a very relaxed and laid back person. Is this you inside when you're racing? Do you have that ability to kind of? Because I think that's a great skill to have for marathon, is to be almost relaxed and horizontal with these things and take it in your stride. Is that how you are with these high pressure situations?
Yeah, it's how I try to be, I think. I think with it just being, such a long race, like you said, you have to be relaxed in the beginning. You don't want to get too carried away, just because you're going to need that energy in the last 10K. So I think, I try to be relaxed as possible.
Because I want to kind of, I know we want to talk more about London, but I want to kind of take this back a minute because it's kind of relevant to potentially how you're going to frame London in your mind. But there's a really awesome, for the listeners at home, there's a really awesome picture of you and Emile Cairess, which I know you're very aware of, from the Booster Championships in 2019. Booster Cross, and Emile Cairess, who was fourth at the Olympics, obviously has gone to the marathon a bit earlier, and you both crossed the line. I love the fact you both got your face paint, so your Loughborough, Emile's St Mary's, and you're neck and neck. And from the pictures, remind me, he just pips you, but it's close. I'm right.
Yeah.
He just pips you, but that picture now has a potential story now that when I fast forward to LA and just think the journey you both are going on and the class that you both are showing over the marathon, that could that be LA, you two? You know, fast forward, like what would it be, 9 years later, boosters to LA Olympics, neck and neck, and you've talked about wanting to do it. Is this London, and when you go and race with Emile and everyone there, is this very much just part of that narrative, and it's not about that given day and making it too big of a thing, but it's just part of that narrative or story as you move through your career?
Yeah, I think it. Going back to racing Emile. I think he's a year younger than me, and I've lost count of the amount of times we've raced, and that actually wasn't the first time that we've been separated by a photo finish. We also had
really?
5K on the track in Sport City. I can't remember what year it was, but we both just dipped inside 14 minutes for the first time, but it was 1/100th or something, so it was kind of funny that that's happened to us a couple of times now. So I think just seeing what Emile has done, stepping up to the road, definitely inspired me to make my own way in the roads a little bit, and really believe that, I mean, Britain has had so much success over the years in the marathon on both the men's and the women's side. So I think it's it's cool to try and create our own little bit of history on the roads as well. So yeah.
And a little bit of rivalry also helps. Have you
Yeah,
done any
definitely.
training with Emile?
No, we haven't. We've never trained together. But yeah, um, we last spoke. I remember, chatting with him quite a bit about training for the roads in Paris actually, and just like his experiences with it and kind of what he's learned. So yeah, I enjoy just chatting to Emile, and I think he's a really good guy. So yeah, I'm definitely excited to race him and really just try and keep elevating the British marathon scene.
That's interesting. Is there more of a sharing culture with it amongst you as athletes then, to share ideas, what's happening and how you're processing and dealing with in this case the marathon, but is there much more communication between you all now to sort of share that help?
Yeah, I think in some ways, I guess I don't really share all of my training online. That's kind of from my coaches, and they don't really want me to do that. So yeah, I totally
They're old
respect that.
school.
But I'm always happy to
Yeah.
kind of tell people, like what I'm doing just on like a one-on-one basis. And yeah, I feel like I know Emile's coach has been like pretty upfront with his training and the volumes that he's been doing. So I think it is good. I think sharing definitely helps everyone. And I think the marathon is such a tough event that, at times it's almost you versus the distance rather than you versus individual people a little bit. So I think, I don't think sharing's a bad thing. So
And so Emile
Sharing's
obviously
caring.
uses
yeah,
exactly. But Emile uses a lot of altitude out in Kenya, and you're in Albuquerque right now. I'm guessing, is that where you prepared also for New York?
So in New York, I was in Park City. So yeah, I did
Okay.
like a 4 week. So yeah, I did like two 4 week stints, and then we had like a race in between. But this time I've been at sea level for most of the build, and then we came up to Albuquerque right after the New York half marathon.
Oh, okay, so fairly recently, and you'll do what, a 3 week or 4 weeks? Have you got there?
So I think it'll be about 4 weeks, and then go back to North Carolina for a little bit, and then head over to London.
And
Well,
how does your training pan out there? I mean, I guess you're following similar build to the one that successfully worked there. I'm just thinking in terms of the build up. So have you saved long runs to put in at altitude, or had you kind of front loaded it with those before you came up?
Yeah, so we when we came up, we've had like a few long run workouts. So we got a good long run workout in yesterday, and I think we'll have another two of those. So the way we do it, we either do like a long run for time or a long run workout. And as we get a little bit close to the race, we do more long run workouts. So we're kind of in that phase right now. But our coach is just conscious. Like training definitely went really well before New York, so we're definitely just making sure we don't overdo things at this point in the build, and just keep
Do
things
you
moving.
do you try to? I mean, because we're slightly this will go out 2 weeks before, so we're slightly ahead of that. But I assume you will try and get your longest run about 3 weeks out, or will you base
Um,
that on feel?
Yeah, so that will be like a long run workout. Whereas at my longest run that I've done in this build, that was like, how long is that? Was like 28 miles. That was back before New York,
Oh
maybe
wow,
3 or 4 weeks before New York. So yeah,
New York half marathon.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, did you? I mean, 28 miles is that a decent pace, or are you?
Yeah, I think we averaged not anything crazy. I think we averaged around 550 per mile. Um, so yeah, it took like, was it 2 hours 45? Yeah, 2 hours
Wow.
45, I think. So yeah, we got prescribed the 2 hours 45, and then it's just however far you cover in that distance, in that time.
I mean,
Sorry.
to put it in perspective, I mean, with the World Championship kind of 30Ks, that would get you close to a medal. So it's not hanging around too much.
Yeah, yeah.
It's pretty impressive.
Yeah, it definitely, yeah, I definitely didn't enjoy that one too much, like going past the marathon distance, but yeah, my coaches were like, no, this is good for you. You'll you gotta get one of these in, yeah.
And did you find it hard mentally? Do you mind me asking what you use? Because I mean, I think a lot of the listeners would be keen to know what your technique is for kind of just concentrating your coping technique when things get tough within the marathon, and just keeping your focus and concentration.
Yeah, I'd say I suppose in New York it was never really too difficult mentally for me because I was always running with other people. So I'd say, yeah, mentally it only got really, really tough in the last I think like 2 miles or something. The first time I actually looked at my watch in New York, it was over 2 hours, and I was like, okay, I'm pretty close to the finish now. But yeah,
that's good.
I know in London, I'm sure I'll be looking at it a little bit sooner with with obviously the pace we're going out at, but yeah, I think the like individual aid stations was a good way for me to break it up, like get my bottle and really just try and get as much fuel down as I can, and yeah, I don't know. I think when it gets really tough, yeah, people kind of tell me you want to just break it down by, I don't know, maybe different like lamppost to lamppost, or just like if you're on like a straight, just really just try and chunk it as much as you can in your brain, and yeah, try not to think about how much you have left, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, that's the key, is not to just project and just something to keep you in the moment. But you might not even know what it is. I mean, we chatted to Steve Jones and he didn't really know. He was just like, no, just get on with it. So some people identify it and some people don't. It doesn't make any difference. It's just you will innately do something just to keep yourself focused on the pace when it gets tough.
How much are you aware? Well, I suppose with New York, but do you think you'll be aware of times, the pace you're on, or do you just concentrate on like how far you've got to go all the time in terms of that kind of things? Do you really try to not react to whether you're on a pace or not and just go with it? Or
yeah, I think as I've gone further and further in my athletics career, I feel like the more I try and fixate on a time, the less likely it is to happen. I think sometimes, I don't know, me personally, I feel like it just adds another layer of like mental load. And sometimes I think it's better to just be a little bit more free, and not worry too much if a split is a little bit slow or a little bit quick. And yeah, obviously you want to be in like a ballpark range, and you don't want to be going out crazy or jogging in the beginning. But yeah.
But in those early stages, do you go more to feel, or did you go, I guess, because we've only really got that one experience, but if you're doing a half as well, do you prefer to go more to how you feel, given that you're going to be racing that marathon distance? So kind of going back to more a cross-country mentality, or do you check your watch to make sure that you're on the splits?
Yeah, I try not to check my watch too much. I think in London, yeah, there will be a little bit more of that, but yeah, if I'm racing a half marathon now, I think I feel comfortable enough just to be like, okay, I'm just going to race the people who are in this race. And yeah, even going back a few weeks to New York, the splits were just all over the place. So I feel like I think in the first 6 miles we had two like downhill miles that were around, I think they were like 4:10 to 4:12 or something. And I feel like if you look at your watch and see that, sometimes you might panic. But I I guess I tried to just think in that moment that everyone else is probably feeling the same way, and the race is going to pull back at some point. You just have to kind of call everybody's bluff a little bit.
And as we get close, I mean, when this interview drops, Patrick, will be just inside 2 weeks to go for the London Marathon. How will your taper look? How was it going into New York? Are you going to stick with a similar type thing? Are you someone who kind of ramps down quite a bit, or do you leave it until the final 10 days?
Yeah, I'd say we ramped down quite a bit before New York. I think yeah, before New York it was like 2 weeks, and this one, yeah, maybe slightly longer than 2 weeks. I think 3 weeks. I think this fourth week out will be pretty good mileage, and then I think it will just start to decrease a little bit. Before New York, I think I was like 80 to 85 miles in the 2 weeks out, and then the last week was just whatever it is basically. So yeah, we'll have a good taper for sure.
And just a quick word, because I know probably people listening will be interested in the type of fueling that you use. Obviously, I'm guessing you practice with it on your long runs and workouts. Was that something that you found difficult to adjust to, like drinking at speed?
Yeah, that like really difficult in the beginning. And I was definitely a bit worried going into the I mean, we practiced it a ton, but I was a bit worried going into the race with how much I would be able to get down. But honestly, yeah, in New York, I was very pleasantly surprised with how much I was able to get down, and yeah, my stomach was feeling really good. So I know a lot of people have issues there. So I think, yeah, I'm trying not to overthink it too much, and yeah, just really trying to be diligent with that in the early stages and get as much down as I feel like I can. And yeah, I think practice is definitely key with that. Just so your body knows what to expect a little bit on race day.
Yeah, definitely. And do you use so in the carb loading stage, do you use drinks for that, or do you focus just on foods?
So I'd say, yeah, mainly just foods. And then the morning of the race, but yeah, before the race, I'll do some drinks and a gel, and then yeah, in the race mainly just drinks. And in London, yeah, I'll probably stick a few gels to some bottles just as like a backup, or if I feel like I need a little bit extra. So
Because that's where, as elites, we're spoiled. You can stick what you want to the bottle when you pick it up. You don't have to carry it around with you. And I think that's definitely a difference to the masses. You have to carry everything that you're going to consume pretty much out there, or else use what's available on the course. What would be your race day breakfast, just out of interest?
so I normally would just do porridge with some honey, and yeah, just keep it pretty simple.
So you're not bringing slow cookers and toasters that some people. I mean, I'm not against it, but it's like it has been known to be particular for some marathoners.
Yeah. I feel like the easier. I'll sometimes just have like the oatmeal pots in my room or whatever. Don't even need to go down to breakfast. Just get a coffee the day before, stick it in the fridge or something.
Perfect. Just my last question was going to be, because I want to, and he was been mentioned, but your training partner Jack Rowe, who's from my neck of the woods, Aldershot, fantastic runner as well. He's gearing up for London. You're training with him. And you're sparring together, and you both run incredibly well at New York. Gave you both a shout out, but I know you kind of stole the British headlines, but Jack was not far behind, 60 low. What's that been like for you both as training partners, just to spar off each other, getting ready for this same day, and like especially when things have not necessarily gone well for one of you and the other one, because we've talked a lot about the camaraderie of a training partner, how much that can be important in that process to get you ready. So how much you both have helped each other to get ready for this race?
Yeah, I think it's been really helpful having Jack come over, and yeah, it's not even just Jack. It was actually funny in New York. We had um, so I train with mainly like three other guys who are targeting spring marathons. One of the guys is doing Boston, and Peter, he's also doing London. He's Irish, but yeah, we were all within. I think Alex was like 59, 52 maybe. Peter was like right there with him. I was, yeah, a couple of seconds down, and then Jack was like a couple of seconds um,
Mm.
behind me. So we've all been just, yeah, going back and forth the whole build, and it's nice because you know the level of people that you're training with, and you know on any day if you're not feeling that great, one of those guys is gonna kind of tow you through the workout, and
Mhm.
um, yeah, it's definitely been challenging at times because obviously everyone's so good that they can, if they're feeling good, they can really put the hurt on you. So yeah, it's we're trying to manage that these next few weeks going into London. But
Mhm.
yeah, no, it's been huge. I think having three guys to really just get a lot of good work in, and yeah, I'm excited to see how we all get on in the next few weeks.
Brilliant. And are you what day? When do you travel into London?
So I think my flight is on the 20th.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so I'll be there.
So it's just inside a week, and then you'll just be able to stay. You obviously don't have to go to the expo to get your number. You will get handed that, and
Yeah,
everything will be looked after. But you do have a number of commitments with press conferences and things like that. And I'm guessing that's kind of a little bit different to the standard. I mean, you would have had that in New York, but it's a little bit different to your standard halves and track.
yeah. I actually didn't have anything in New York, which is kind of nice. So that, yeah, this is definitely a first for me, and yeah, I think it's nice that it's like a few days out from the race, and yeah, just try and yeah, not get too worried about it all, and yeah, just stay focused on the job.
And is there a part that you're looking forward to the most? Have you
Um,
thought about that, or is that just a weird question?
yeah,
I think it's a good question.
I don't know. I guess I don't know if there's a particular part. I've just heard from so many people that pretty much all the way around it's like three or four people deep. So I'm glad that the atmosphere is going to be good the whole way around because I know in some
Oh,
of the
there
marathons it might
won't
be a little bit of dead spots.
there
But
won't be a dead spot. Even in the tunnels, there's not really a dead spot.
yeah,
But that would be the only part in the underpass where there might be a little bit of quiet. Otherwise, yeah, it's amazing atmosphere.
yeah. No, I've heard so many good things. So yeah, I really can't wait to get out there.
Brilliant.
I think all the iconic pictures you see, like coming back along the Thames with Big Ben in the background. I feel like that part's gonna be pretty cool. So
That
Mm.
bit's nice because you know you've only got from Big Ben, you've got what 1,200 meters to the finish there. So that's
yeah,
nice once you've made that turn. But I tell you what, we're really looking forward to watching you,
Mm.
Patrick. Congratulations on everything that you've achieved so far. But we're excited to see what you can do on the streets of London. And thank you so much for sparing the time in the middle of this build up. I hope the build up continues to go very well for all of you in the training group. And we'll see you in London.
yeah, sounds good. Look forward to seeing you guys there.
Well, it was great to see that training has gone so well for Patrick Tomo. I think I'm excited to see what he can do. He really proved in New York that he can come out prepared well and not be overawed by the occasion. And I think the London crowd's going to help boost him a little bit too.
No, absolutely. I really enjoy his kind of he's very thoughtful and thinks things through kind of athlete. And it was interesting when he talked about sort of not looking at outcomes so much and looking more to the focus and not just focusing too much on the end game, which I think is so important. And as an elite athlete, I think we are all criminal of kind of, because that's what you fight for every day, is this golden ticket at the end of whether it's, in your case, world records, medals. For me it was like I don't know whatever mine was, but you kind of, you have to almost, I think Steve Peters said it brilliantly, you sort of look at you build your Everest, look at it, and then you look away and just look at the next step. And I think that's kind of sums up a little bit how Pat talked about his marathon aims and his aspirations. And it was really nice hearing about LA Marathon being on his radar. That was lovely, because I kind of, we've now got a story to kind of, and an excitement with him, Emile, and other Brits that are coming through to go, we've got some serious medal contenders looking long term in towards this Olympic dream. So exciting.
Absolutely. I mean, I think you kind of saw shades of the same application that maybe we saw in Callum as well, certainly going back to John Brown. I think you're absolutely right. Maybe Callum got the ball rolling a little bit, and then Emile carried on with that, and now to see Patrick coming through, it's a lot like we are seeing that kind of snowball effect of one goes out, and then the others think, well, and particularly in Patrick's case, he used to race alongside Emile. They've had so many back and forths that he's absolutely looking at it thinking, well, if Emile can do that, so can I. So that really attacking the marathon, applying yourself, and I think Patrick's put all the pieces in place. I love that he's prepared in Albuquerque as well. Seems that's somewhere that I used a lot of times to prepare.
Yes, you have, yes. As have I,
we know that,
to be
and Josh Kerr.
Yes,
there's been a fair number have gone through there, and it's kind of it works. So yeah, just really excited. Really hope things are going to go well for Patrick and for everybody else racing in London. And I'm getting more and more excited about seeing how the racing goes on the day. Yes. And we've got a lot going on that week as well with the podcast. So number one, huge thank you to everybody for listening to us, supporting us, sending in your questions. And of course, we all want every single one of you to run as well as possible on the day itself, and to let us know afterwards how you do.
And enjoy it.
Definitely cross that finish line with a big smile on your face. And just to let everyone know what we've got planned this week, and jump in with anything I get wrong, Tomo, because we've got a lot going on.
I know.
So
we're going to need chaperones moving us around so we don't miss anything.
Are. The Monday pod will drop as normal. Tuesday we have an extra special one dropping with some information on hydration to help everybody to go in to the race top hydrated and ready to suck in all those carbs into the muscles and then race as well as possible come race day. Wednesday we will be already in London for the build up, and we will be dropping a podcast recorded on that day as well. Thursday shakeout will drop as normal. We are trying to squash everyone's questions in as much as possible. We will miss some. I'm really sorry about that. We will try and get back to those afterwards or reply privately. Friday, we've got the honour of being on stage at the expo. So if you are planning Friday to go and get your number, we will be on the main stage 11:15 to midday. So either get your number just before or just after that, and then come and listen to us, please, on the stage, so that we're not just talking to empty people, empty room, because that would be embarrassing. Saturday, we have a morning shakeout. We are going to meet the bottom right corner of Hyde Park. So somewhere near Hyde Park Corner Tube Station. We will finalise that nearer to the time. 8:45 to go at 9. And we will do a short shakeout there. Obviously questions and answers as much as we can squeeze in on that run. And then on to the Apple Store Brompton Road, where we will be doing a live podcast from 10:30 to 11:30. And you are welcome to come along to that as well. And then Tom is going to jump on a train and rush up to Manchester, do the red button comms, and I'm going to go back to the hotel and do some prep, ready for commentary, and hopefully seeing as many people as possible give me a wave on the Mall as they go up to that finish line on Sunday.
Do you know
Did I miss anything?
No, you didn't. I was almost like a good minute challenge. You're getting good at this, like fit everything into. But yeah, it's going to be a fun week, and we're excited to kind of share in it as much as possible. And then the real icing on the cake, getting to commentate on people actually pursuing and fulfilling their dreams or whatever the heck they're doing. It's going to be a fun week and a lot of fun celebrations. So yeah. Fun.
Looking forward to it, and it's getting excited, and I'm sure for everybody racing it's getting even more exciting right now, and nervous, but don't worry about that. Nerves are good. It's all part of why we do it. Yep. And now it is time to remind everyone that we do have that collaboration with Wahoo, and specifically the Wahoo KICKR Run treadmill running for you at the moment. So you can take advantage of that discount code, which is Paula's Run Club, when you look at the Wahoo treadmills, and you would get a free Headwind Fan. You need to go to wahoofitness.com, and that is worth actually over £200, but it is a great piece of kit for keeping you cool and comfortable while you are enjoying the KICKR Run treadmill.
I was going to ask you on this, like, because I was thinking about having kids, and you can't leave the house, and I've had that kind of issue. So did you use treadmills a lot when Isla and Raf were young? Just so,
Yeah.
so you didn't just go out for it?
Yeah.
Didn't leave the house.
When one of them was young, specifically, because you can't leave a child. So yeah, if I was on my own with the kids, then absolutely that would be when I'd use the treadmill. Actually, when I was pregnant as well.
Okay.
Because you don't know, there is that uncertainty, and obviously baby comes first, how you feel comes first. So you might get 10 minutes done one day, you might get 20 minutes done another day, you might need to stop for the loo, which happens quite often when you're pregnant because the baby's bouncing up and down on top of your bladder. So just having that comfort of absolutely, when I need to stop, I can stop, and I'm at home, is great. Plus, of course, the belt is cushioned. And it simulates more outdoor running on trails specifically with a KICKR Run. So that's why that's a really, really good idea. I mean, the most difficult thing I've had to do is actually play catch with Isla while I was pregnant with Raf, running on a treadmill.
Did you? Crikey.
Just not for very long. I think I might have just caught the ball once and thrown it back to her.
Okay, right.
But yeah, you have to remember that if you're present, you're present with the kids, so the focus is not on the training, but it is a great tool for so many people who are juggling. Not only that, but also safety outside at night.
Yeah. Oh no, listen. One of the things, like we quite often, especially around kids and a lot of things, trying to look after your own health and having that ability to go into your garage or wherever you store a treadmill, or have these a Wahoo treadmill, and actually be able to still look after yourself while look after your kids, or whatever, or fit it into your day. It's priceless. It's absolutely priceless.
Now, remember, we are, of course, following those 3 people through to London. Last time we caught up with Charlotte Davis, she was getting back into running, but doing a lot of those runs on the treadmill. And now it is time to see how she gets in with her, how she's getting on. Now it's time to see how she's getting on with her slightly shortened taper that she told us about. But I'm hoping everything is coming together, and she is looking forward to the race as much as the rest of us.
Just a little update from me. It is Easter Monday, which means we are just under 3 weeks to go until London Marathon. It's all getting very real to me now. I did my longest run of the plan on Saturday. I'm very grateful for the long weekend, so I had another day to sort of rest and recover after that. And I've just been for a run now. I'm just stretching because I really need to be careful with keeping my body healthy and well and looked after, so that I can turn up to race day feeling the best I possibly could. We're just into the taper now. This is into the last 3 weeks, which obviously comes in itself with a lot of questions, a lot of things to manage. You know, am I eating enough? Am I sleeping enough? Am I hydrated enough? Am I running enough? Like, am I doing enough running? I'm going to keep the legs ticking, but I'm also obviously not doing too much, and I don't want to turn up to race day feeling exhausted. And the nerves are getting high. Everything's getting very, very real, but it's a good thing. I'm just remembering why I signed up to do this challenge almost 6 months ago now. And all the training that I've put in, just trusting the training, trusting the process, trusting that I'm doing everything I possibly could do, and just kind of looking after myself, just making sure I'm taking that time every day to think about how I feel, what's best for me, and then remember that the end point, basically, the finish line, is the big thing, but also why I've taken on this challenge, why it means so much to me, why I wanted to run for the charity, why I wanted to do London specifically, and everything that I've done when it's gone really difficult, when I've had setbacks, when I've done runs that I didn't want to do, because it's all well and good when the weather's nice and you're having a great time, but it's actually those ones that you did when you didn't want to do it that stick with you, and when it gets hard on race day, that's what helps get you through, I'm hoping. So yeah, now I'm into tapering. Hopefully I'll be able to get a bit more rest, because the cumulative stress of the long runs every week on my body has been a lot. I've loved it, I've enjoyed it, but I am looking forward to easing off a little bit and prioritising resting for the next couple of weeks, so I can get to the start line and feel as good as I possibly could feel. So yeah.
Thank you, Charlotte, for that update. I'm not only laughing, Tomo, because I've just read what your 1 minute challenge is. Do you get nervous about the 1 minute challenge?
Yes.
So, Tomo, for your 1 minute challenge, I'm trying to start at 10 seconds on the clock so that you can know that.
Okay, fair enough.
How do you combat nerves?
Right, how do I combat nerves? I think I want to start by saying I'm not always successful at combating nerves. I mean, that choice of words is quite a strange one as well, because is there such a thing as winning against nerves? No, I think it's a case of making certain they don't become so overwhelming that you can't do what you need to do. So it's almost switching the word combat, or the idea of that, into it's actually a positive. So one of the first things I always say to myself, I'd rather be doing this than not. And I do that with everything. Whenever I think about something I'm nervous about, I think, well, I'd rather do it than not. And I also love the thought that when I do whether I achieve things well or not, I'm proud of myself for giving it a go. And I do this a lot, and I've kind of touched on it before, I always think, what's the worst that can happen? So the best thing you can do is just give it a go, regardless of the result. And the worst thing that can happen is you didn't do great, but at the same time, what does that matter? You're proud of yourself for not giving up.
Excellent. Bang on.
Did you see what I just did there? Did you just see? I was exactly a minute. I stopped myself. Annika will be so proud of me that I stopped myself.
We're all proud of you, Tomo. We're all proud of you, because you saw it and you stopped and you said it perfectly. Yeah. So absolutely. And I do think you just need to manage nerves, and you need to use them as a positive. And like you say, look at the worst that can happen and remind yourself it's fun at the end of the day. This is something that you all signed up for. So think about it not as nerves, as excitement and enjoyment, and get the most out of it.
You'd rather be there than not.
Yeah,
that's always the thing. I'd rather be in that position to feel nervous than sat at home watching.
Yeah,
I rephrase that, but in terms of when it's in front of me. But you know what I mean? Yeah.
You'd rather be one of those people with a place than one of the million and something that didn't get in. So make the most of it and enjoy it. Yeah. And use those nerves, and just get everything that you can out of it. Right now, training corner, Tomo. There isn't a huge lot left to do now. It really is just final finishing touches this week, right?
Yeah, I think, well, what are we now? 2 weeks out. I think the thing for me, that I find the second week to go a little bit harder to kind of manage your training than the last week, because the last week is very much like if you do nothing, then it's kind of an obvious, like, if in doubt, just do nothing. The second week, there's almost like you need to do something, because you don't want to have 2 weeks completely off. So I think the second week, to a certain extent, is very much sticking to that routine, maintain that routine. And we've talked about that before in previous episodes, that the routine is almost like a bit of a safe haven when it comes to training. So even if you're not necessarily got the time scale that you need, the amount of training you need to fill in, still stick to that. And I think it's occupying yourself with your simple tasks. So you're not just prepping for the race, you're prepping for those days and weeks after as well. So you're kind of really making certain that you're occupying yourself with useful things rather than just kind of, do you know something that I did? I started quite a few of my marathons, and I've never told you this. Something I started, it was around 2-3 weeks out from a marathon. I often started puzzles.
Oh wow.
And I would do a puzzle.
Like jigsaws?
Yeah, jigsaw puzzles. And I would do, and me and Gemma would get into it. And I'm not normally a puzzle person, but I puzzles really, if I have the time and I'm in that kind of content place to do it, puzzles was something I would do quite a bit. Have you ever done a puzzle?
Yeah. I have to say, not race week. I would read instead. That would be my kind of way to just focus my mind on something else. Because you're right, it's the week before, it's all busy, isn't it? And you're meant to be tapering, and that's fine. It's the week before that you try and get a bit more antsy. You still have key workouts, or I used to still have key workouts that I needed to get done that week for the perfect build up, but you're also that little bit more paranoid every time somebody sits next to you and sneezes. You're trying to wrap yourself in cotton wool. Every little niggle kind of sets alarm bells off going. And you're trying to get more sleep. So I would really advise sleep well, eat well, stick to the routine, as you've said, stick to those manageable things. And if you do have key sessions that perhaps you've done in the past that have worked really, really well, keep those in it. I mean, I used to have 10 days out. I used to have my final track session, and I used to try and do the same one in my build up, ideally with a little bit quicker result. And it was my broken down fartlek session that added up to 12k. And you could break it down into a 10k first block, and I would try and hit that 10k as close as possible to my 10k personal best. And then I knew I was really, really ready to go. So you can have hard things in that week. But the general volume, I think, is coming down. The length of my long run was certainly coming down. And where I might put 4 sessions in a week normally, I think I would have 2 key ones that week.
Yeah. Well, and again, it's you almost, because you've done marathons before, you knew the things that you wanted to do. For those that have in the past done marathons, they can like go to their go-to. Those that have never done one before, see it as an opportunity to build something that hopefully is a template you can use in the future. But I think, and you touched on a really good subject around those little sort of maranoia, I think they sometimes coin it, of is that niggly, is that whatever. Yeah. And I think whenever I had that go through my head, I always would say, well, it's because I care. And I'm just to say to yourself, I'm just being a bit maranoia, a bit paranoid, and almost being honest with yourself. Fine. I remember like before Kew Gardens, that I'd had some bacon and I'd not wrapped it properly in the fridge, and I took a look at it and I thought, I'm not going to take the risk on it. I'll let Gemma eat it because she's pregnant. It'll be fine.
I'm just pregnant, about to give birth.
Yeah. But no. My point being is, like, I would kind of, if in hindsight it's silly to not have done it, but in that moment, if it's going to make my karma just feel that bit soother, then fine, just do those things. It's only for a week. It's not for a long period of time. I'm not going to carry that on. It's just, if it is just going to make certain your mind at ease and not spend 2 days thinking, I had that fish, should I have done that, or whatever. I'm using example.
Err on the side of caution.
Just
totally.
Err on the side
and
of
the
caution.
other thing I forgot to mention is perfect time to make sure you've tried again the shoes that you're going to wear on race day, the kit that you're going to wear on race day. Everything is ready there, perhaps with a backup just in case, but you've tried and tested and you've run in every single item that you're going to put on the race day itself.
Do you know what? I asked someone this because we discussed this on the last pod about underwear.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, and we kind of touched on it, but making certain underwear, whether you are on or that, is an important part of it, which I think, because I spoke to a couple of people, I say, was I silly to ask that? Because it's something that I think about, and I had a survey from a few girls and a few boys, and they all agreed, yes, it's that kind of that unspoken thing of, you don't want to put a fresh pair of knickers or a fresh pair of pants on. It's like, think about it.
Well, they can be clean, but you need to have worn them before while running. That's what you're trying to say, right?
Oh, is that my problem? Oh, I thought it was like one of those one-time wear them and then...
So basically, try and test everything and make sure that you've double-checked. You can even start thinking about setting things in a corner if you're packing a bag to go down to London, just so there isn't that panic the day before. You have to have it all packed, but just start throwing it in the same corner so you at least know where everything is. Because as you get more nervous, you do tend to get a bit more panicky, a bit more forgetful. So that can come into it as well. I'm excited to thank our friends at Wild Nutrition for sponsoring this episode. They are offering all of our listeners 50% off for 3 months, which is a brilliant way to keep yourself strong and keep your energy levels high through race week.
I mean, we've said it many, many times, and I'll continue to say it. It's a great offer. It really is. And I think for most of us, especially with the training we're doing, that food-grown energy support is exactly what we need to feel armed to tackle each day head on. It's got that suite of essential B vitamins that really make the difference.
It does, and it's not just the B vitamins, it also contains iron, magnesium and vitamin B12 to support energy production whilst reducing tiredness and fatigue. It's great for the immune system and antioxidant health as well, which is so important when you're putting in those miles or prepping for your biggest race.
And what stands out to me as well is that unlike a quick fix caffeine hit, which I have to say I'm a bit guilty of from time to time, I'm sure a lot of us are, Any Supports provide sustained energy throughout the day. It's a much steadier approach for your routine.
That's because Wild Nutrition believes that your body is wired to absorb nutrients from food. They never add synthetic fillers or binders, ever. It's just quality ingredients that your body actually recognises.
So Wild Nutrition are giving Paula's Run Club listeners that exclusive 50% off for 3 months and a free personal consultation with a nutritional therapist. Just go to wildnutrition.com/Paula to get started. That's wildnutrition.com/Paula so you can feel the difference yourself. Start 2026 rooted in wellness. Terms and conditions do apply.
And another reminder, of course, that this episode has been brought to you by Heiko. We are extremely grateful to them for their support, and you can head to drinkheiko.co.uk and use the code PRC, and that will get you 10% off your first order and 20% off your subsequent order. That's about all that we've got time to squeeze into this week. Just a reminder that it is inside 2 weeks to go. We are with you every step of the way. We'll be with you pretty much every day next week, and we are as excited as you are to see how everyone gets on come London Marathon Day itself on the 26th. A reminder once again, there is still time to get in touch. Can't promise we'll get to you before then, but the WhatsApp number is +44 7564 747 914. Email paulasrunclub@momentumbroadcast.co.uk, and of course on socials at Paula's Run Club. We will be there with you every day next week. Have I missed anything there, Tomo? This has been a Momentum Media production. Thank you very much for listening, and good luck in these final days.
Enjoy the puzzles. See you soon.
Yep.